36 times is the exact amount of times Ajax have won the Dutch League. Last season, not a smooth final, swept on in and stole that glory, but today we're going to reclaim that pride over 5 seasons. And also, we're going to be using Ajax's brilliant youth facilities. They have created some of the best talent ever in world football. So today, we're going to be setting ourselves the challenge of not signing anybody over the age of 18 and seeing how powerful their youth is. Let's get right into it. Can we win the Champions League in 5 seasons? We can see here as well, they are definitely not short of some trophies, so we're going to have to make sure that we carry on winning some stuff. Otherwise, honestly, we're going to get the sack. There are going to be some players that are going to be going out. The first one is going to be Tadic to Fenerbahce for £10 million. A great player, but obviously not an Ajax youth player. We also decided to loan out Yuri Bass. And also going out on loan is going to be one of the hottest prospects. That is going to be Nasi Univar. Really excited to get this guy back, though, and developing under this management. And unfortunately, we couldn't offload any of these other players, but here are some of the players we are going to be forced into selling to make this challenge work. First up is going to be Edson Alvarez. Hamid Kudus, he's a great player, but he's got to go. Bergwijn, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but anyway, he's got to go as well. Quality player, but Berghaus has also got to leave. Davy Klaassen is also going to be leaving. Very new to the team, but Calvin Bassey, unfortunately, is also going to have to leave. Again, a very new player in Windle, an absolute quality fullback, but unfortunately, because of the time he had at AZ, he is not welcome at Ajax. Jorge Sanchez, a quality fullback as well, gotta have to leave. And this one's a real shame because he is an absolute quality goalkeeper. Rulli is also going to have to leave at some point. It's all about when we can sell these players. It's not all negatives though, because we do have some top talent, including Jarell Hato, Silvano Vos, Sky Vink, Van Axel Dongen, Francisco Gonçalves, who unfortunately we're not going to be able to keep because he come from Porto. But if we are playing him a little bit, we can make a tiny bit of money on this guy. Same goes for Mohamed Darami. He's got to stick around for a little bit, but obviously originated from FC Copenhagen, so we are going to be selling him, but hopefully we can make a little bit of money from him, already valued at 13 million. We've also got the likes of Mazambu, and we are going to consider keeping him because he is only 17. He hardly had any time at Ghent, so we are going to consider keeping him because he's an absolute baller. But realistically, going into this first season, we have practically got the same team Ajax did have, so I am really hoping we can at least finish inside of them top sort of 3 placements, ideally win the Dutch League. So let's go over and see how things escalated. Well, I opted to go with the 4-3-3. It is going to be my Erik ten Hag masterclass, and this is going to be the best 11, obviously filtered by the game, and it is including way too many non-Ajax youth players, so unfortunately we're going to have to roll into the first season with this team. I say unfortunately, we are going to do well, but obviously we're just going to see who we can offload in that second transfer window. But let's see what this team can do. Well, what they done is won the Dutch League, and it was a very, very close season indeed, as we actually win on goal difference over PSV Eindhoven, who actually won the same amount of games, drew the same amount of games, and lost the same amount of games, which is absolutely incredible. A very, very good season. Feyenoord also having a quality season here. All 3 of the Dutch powerhouses really going at it neck and neck. We are going to see, actually, in terms of player stats, Broby coming in with 29 goals. Now, this guy we can keep, and I am very, very happy about that because he is an absolute animal in the game and in real life. In terms of the average rating, it's going to be Berghaus, Broby, and Kudus. Obviously, only 2 of them we're actually going to be able to keep for the rest of this save. So a little bit gutted about that, but still a very impressive season. Berghaus also picking up the most player of the matches, and it is going to be Rulli, another player we can't keep, keeping the most clean sheets. In terms of the Europa League, it wasn't pretty, guys, at all, as we get knocked out in the round of 16 against Lazio, which is a fixture I think we definitely should be winning, especially with this team. And when it comes to the Becker, guys, it's an absolute disaster, as we actually lose 4-2 against this side here. I'm not even going to try and say it, NEC I'm going to say, but that is an absolute disaster. But in terms of the actual goals that have been scored this season, guys, it is going to be this man here, Brian Broby, coming in, who picked up a ton of goals. You can see here, 37 games played, 35 goals and 10 assists. He had an incredible season. It is also going to be Berghaus, who is going to join in with an incredible stat line. Unfortunately, a player we can't keep. As you can see, he has played practically everywhere he can possibly play, but he actually scored 21 goals and picked up 12 assists inside of 36 appearances. To be honest, also Big Branco had a great season, but unfortunately, I'm not getting too excited because we can't keep this player. Obviously, coming from Toulouse here, he enjoyed a very good season, averaging a 7.38 match rating, but again, we're not going to see this in a few years to come, so I'm trying not to get too excited. And going into the second transfer window, we have got £49 million to spend, which is great. great, but it's very limited when you can only sign people that are no older than the age of 18. And also, for the first few windows, I don't want to sign anyone really, because I want to make sure I use all of these fantastic Ajax youth players. So really, the challenge is now going to be who we can sell. We've gone over the players that we want to get rid of, obviously, previously. So let's go over to the second transfer window and see if we can make that happen. Well, guys, this is going to be an absolute abomination of people going out, so let's get into it. Avi Klaassen goes to Villarreal for £9.5 million. Edson Alvarez goes to Arsenal for £42 million. Mohamed Kudus goes on loan to Shanghai Port because we literally had no offers, and I sort of wanted to offload him to make it more realistic. Didn't have a great first season, so I loaned out Sky Vink, which hopefully is going to be a good move for him. Berghaus goes to Leicester for £19.2 million. They have picked up one hell of a player. Rulli goes to Lazio for £17.5 million. Not a bad bit of business. Windal goes to Wolfsburg for £22 million. And they've completely cleaned me out as well with Calvin Bassey, who goes for £20 million, meaning Wolfsburg have now got an incredible back line. And with all of those players going out, the team now looks something like this. Meaning, obviously, some players can get in, the likes of Hato, obviously a player which we've been talking about a lot, and a player which has got absolutely fantastic potential can get a chance. Also, a keeper called Gorta, who, realistically, he did start off, obviously, at AZ and also Go Ahead Eagles, so probably not going to be with us for the entirety of this rebuild. But for now, at least he gets a run in. I'm going to give Voss an opportunity in the midfield alongside of Taylor to really show his worth, another player with 4-star potential. It's going to give a very small and limited chance to Van Axel because he probably is going to get pushed out by Bergwijn at the time, but hopefully he can get some game time and slowly start to develop into his potential. Univar is now actually going to be favourite to be in that midfield attacking role, and this guy is a player which I am very confident he can give me results every single season. He is incredible. And also, it's going to give a very good variety between Darami and Gonsi Sao, two players who are purely going to try and gain their potential for money gains. That is pretty much it, but it is good for the club, so it's going to be a battle out of them two who develops the quickest, but realistically, they're both going to be out the door. So yeah, as good as this team actually looks, only less than half of it we can actually keep, so it is a little bit bittersweet. There's a lot of players still which we've got no chance of keeping because we are trying to go as realistic as possible. But in terms of what I personally want to win this season, I mean, looking at it right now, I want to make sure we carry on. I'm going to be realistic because we've sold a lot of players. So, I mean, a lot of the strong players that were coming from last season, we've lost them now. The Dutch League, I at least want to finish in the top 3. The Friendly Cup, forget about that. The Champions League, at least get through to the round of 16 again. And hopefully, a little bit of a better performance in the Dutch Cups. Well, the second season has been simulated, guys, and it is pretty much what I thought. I got my wish. I finished inside of the top 3 just. 75 points coming in. PSV Eindhoven and Feyenoord above us. Feyenoord winning the league again, which I don't really like to see. But this season was always going to be a settle-in season. At the end of the day, we have simply lost too many players to be that consistent. In terms of the player stats, though, it is going to be Brian Broby still with the most goals. It is going to be Gonsi Sao coming in with the highest match rate in second place, that is. He did get the most assists out of everybody in the league now, and I imagine he is developing into some player. He is. Yes, he is. His value is slowly rising as well. So hopefully we can keep him around for a little bit longer and potentially get anywhere upwards of 50 million for him. Not as anything serious. We do win the Friendly Cup 5-1 against Westerlo. Didn't win it, but I'm not too annoyed because we actually got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League where Atletico Madrid actually knocked us out. Quite a tough team. Am I happy we got to the quarterfinals? Yeah, did however win the Becker Trophy though, guys, in a 3-1 final against Canberra. As you can see now, it is going to be Broby going through. Who else would it be? An absolute incredible start 4 minutes in. It's going to be a great ball over the top there, a poor clearance. It's going to be Darami who picks it up, drives at the back line into Broby. Another very early goal for him. 2 goals in before 36 minutes. It's now going to be Gorta. What is going on? Oh my days. I don't know what to say about that one. It's a very interesting moment in the game. It's a shocker from Gorta, but obviously it didn't really affect us as we do score again. And Van der Boomer keepers are all over the shop. What has happened? He also won the Cruyff Shield, obviously at the start of the season, against Feyenoord in a very comfortable 4-0 win, as it is going to be Broby again kicking things off right from the start. And as you can see, after that 1 goal, Feyenoord purely collapsed. It's going to be Van der Boomen across again into Darami on this occasion. And realistically, Feyenoord should have put up a bit of a better fight, but they got absolutely outclassed on the day, and it ended up being a very comfortable 4-0 win, with the last goal coming from Broby, linking it through into Univar. What a finish. You can see here some of the goal scorers, guys. It is going to be Broby coming in with 37, but this guy's a little bit of a surprise package. 27 goals and 2 assists in 34 games. That is going to be Yoram Borhor. I believe that's how you say that. Please let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. But this guy I didn't even discuss. He has got, again, not as much potential as some of the players, but he's clearly got something about him, considering he is scoring that amount of goals. It's quite a good return ratio. Not originally from Ajax youth, but I might let it slide a little bit, considering he is only 20. He's been at Ajax for quite a while now, so we might let him know. I do apologise if that does annoy you, but we'll see how he does anyway. But realistically, that's quite a good first season. And to carry on with that, we've got Darami coming in. Now, this is the real interesting moment, because Darami and obviously Gonsi Sao are two players that are essentially, they're both going to be sold whatever happens, but it's very good for us that they're both performing, because it means that both of their values are going to rise, and it means more money for the club. What is good to see is going to be Mazambo coming in with 15 goals and 10 assists. This is a player that we are going to be keeping, and he is absolutely incredible, very versatile, can play on the left-hand side, can play in the middle, great potential, still only 19 years of age, a bright future for him indeed. And there's also going to be some decent seasons coming in for the likes of Gotts and Benel, obviously two players who are going to be leaving us. They're joining on the free, which is a little bit unfortunate. Not got the best potential, to be fair to them, though. To be fair to them, it's an insult. How am I being fair to them? Univar coming in, 11 goals and 16 assists. Another player who I am very excited to see how he develops. By the end of Season 5, I'm really hoping we get the most out of this guy, because yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation. He actually is asking to leave, I believe. Oh, he wants a new contract, which is fine. Currently with the Turkish squad as well. Hopefully he develops into the player that I know he can become. So overall, quite a good season in terms of player stats. In terms of the finances, we have got £167 million. The first player we're going to wave goodbye to is going to be Steven Bergwijn, who actually goes over to Al Etihad, and he goes for £22 million. It's also going to be followed by Kaplan, who goes to Brentford over in England for £5 million. Unfortunately, he was going to leave anyway, so we were forced to sell Gonsi Sao a little bit earlier than I wanted to, as we only managed to get 17 million for this absolute superstar. This guy actually looks really incredible for a right back. I mean, 14 tackling, 16 acceleration, 15 pace, good aggression. Unfortunately, he can't be in the plans due to the rebuild challenge. He goes to Getafe for 7.2 million. Player that I desperately wanted to keep and develop, but unfortunately, PSG comes sniffing, and you know what it's like trying to keep young talent around when they're about, and they pick up Skyvink, who actually goes on the free. Kudus finally gets his move to Juventus for £39 million. And lastly, it's going to be Branco, gets his move to Hoffenheim at the age of 30 for a very small amount of £3 million. So there we go. We have sold so many players now, it's actually mental. And I did bring in one player. Now, I'm going to show you him. It is going to be Robin, and this guy realistically doesn't look like anything much now, and he might not be anything in years to come. He has got great potential, but he has got 20 determination, 12 tackling, which isn't too bad to start with. But because we got rid of so many centre-backs, I at least want to bring in one. So now the team is going to look a little bit like this. Now, it is going to change, obviously. This is just some of the players that I hope get to shine a little bit. The first edition, obviously, is going to get into the team. It's going to be Salah Adin. Now, I am going to give this guy a very small chance, because he doesn't automatically fill me with confidence. I'm going to be honest, his potential isn't too crazy either, but he is going to be getting some game time whatever happens, because we are now a left back short. Now, I'm hoping he can at least develop into somewhat of a good player, even if that is going to be a backup option. We're then going to have Hato, who, if the team does get played like this, he is going to be playing at centre back, which, don't get me wrong, he can do to a very high level, but I want to make sure I develop this guy in his most comfortable area, because he is really going to be a long-term project. We're also going to give Tristan Gouger a little run out as well. He's very similar to Hato, not as good when it comes to the potential, obviously, but he can play right back and centre back. He's okay. I'm going to say he's average for now, but hopefully he can also impress me in this season. We're going to remain with Voss in this midfield role. Didn't get as many games as what I wanted last season. Obviously, I'm not really locking any players in just yet, but he still has got a ton of potential. We're now going to see Mazambo on the left-hand side, and he is developing into some player. 4-star ability already Brody, by the way, his finishing isn't the best, as is literally his only weakness, as he's got good passing, good technique, good first touch, good dribbling, good agility, reasonably quick. It's a shame his finishing wasn't a little bit better, so we're going to work on that, and we are literally going to have the perfect winger. It's going to be Univar remains in that attack and playmaker spot, and realistically this guy's very similar to the player we just discussed because he plays exactly the same roles. This guy a little bit slower, so for me that is why he's obviously playing in the central area, not out on the wing. Obviously offers a lot better finishing, passing not as good actually, but still very, very good players. Currently now at a 4-star ability out on the left and also in the centre. So we're going to go ahead and get into this third season right now and see exactly what we can do. I am hoping we could at least try and get back to winning ways in the Dutch League. I do want to quickly say, if you are enjoying today's video, please do smash the like button and subscribe. We've really put in some time into making these rebuilds now. And if you want to see your team being rebuilt, drop a comment right now on the team you wish to see. Guys, the third season has been simulated, and do you know what? It is painful. We have literally finished a point behind PSV Eindhoven. It is absolutely incredible, and the annoying thing is PSV Eindhoven, something's going on because a lot of their players are leaving. It's very similar to us, to be honest, but very, very close in terms of the league. In terms of the player stats, it is going to be Brian Broby with 31 goals, Univar with 23, so I am really liking this right now because they are two players that we can keep forever throughout this entire rebuild, and they are dominating the league. In terms of the average rating, it's going to be Univar and also Darami. Again, Darami is simply a player we're keeping to develop so we can sell him, but Univar can do what he wants because he's going to be ours literally forever. In terms of assists, it's going to be Darami and Univar again. Jay Gorta coming in with 18 clean sheets, which is absolutely incredible. Player of the matches, we're going to also have Univar and Darami. It's quite clear to me by now that these two players in the likes of Univar and Darami, and also Broby, they are clearly our best performers, so at least two of them are pretty much going to be guaranteed to be staying. It's not all doom and gloom though, as we do actually win the Cruyff Shield again, obviously the pre-season sort of tournament, as we actually do find ourselves needing an equaliser against Feyenoord, which is an incredibly lucky goal to push it to penalties. We're going to watch the penalties right now just to see exactly who missed. You can see they're quite clean penalties so far, very good penalties actually. Taylor stepping up again, all I believe going in the same direction. Is that all penalties going in the same side? Every single penalty going in the same side. Is the one that's going to miss going to be different? Okay, Van Axel goes the other way, then they step up, tuck that one in as well. Henry steps up, tucks that one in, and this is where they must miss. It's not where they miss. It must be coming up. We got very lucky in this, by the way, because they dominated the game realistically, and that is where we won. Things in the Champions League aren't really getting any better, but it is quite hard to judge when you match up against Bayern Munich, who actually beat us 6-2 on aggregate, so that's quite a bit of a humbling in the Champions League. In terms of the Becker Cup as well, again, not a great display. The quarterfinals are going to be where we get knocked out against Dordrecht, or Dordrecht, should I say, sorry, and realistically, this is a trophy we seem to be struggling quite a bit right now, and I don't know if because we're not taking it seriously enough or whatever the situation is, but we have to improve on that side. Now, in terms of the actual goals then, we are going to have Brian Broby coming in with 41. This guy is developing it into an absolute animal. Again, you can see his current ability, by the way, is only 3-star. Apparently his potential is capped at 3 as well, but I do believe this guy is going to put goals in whatever the stats are saying, because he is absolutely thriving. 41 goals and 10 assists inside of 41 games. Going next to him, it is going to be Univar, who again is really developing now. I mean, look at him, 4.5-star ability. He is absolutely incredible playing in this central role here. His attributes are literally what you dream of a player playing in this role. What an addition to this team. In terms of the next player, Uram, this guy is a very big surprise package. 25 goals, 2 assists, a player which I realistically didn't even hype up at the start, and clearly I was missing out because I looked at him and, you know, current abilities at 2 stars, but it just goes to show you can't only look at the stars and think of how they're going to do, because this guy's performing on a very good level. Next up to him is going to be Darami, a player who obviously we are trying to grow his value, and that is looking very nice. 45 to 61 million pounds is his current value, so hopefully another good season out of him and we can sell him into that last season. Maybe a PSG will come knocking, a Man City, someone with a lot of money we can scam basically would be ideal, because this guy has got a lot of potential and will gain us a lot of income. Obviously, Kenneth Taylor always going to be consistent. A load of people really to perform to a good level. I want to see a little bit more out of Mazambo. I think he can offer me a lot more. I believe he actually was a 4-star and he's gone down half a star rating. Not enjoying the best of the best season, so hopefully he can develop a little bit more. In terms of the finances, we have got £336 million. So then, the 4th season of transfers, we actually sold nobody. No reasonable offers come in, and we're just going to have that 5th transfer window in the next season to do one last wipeout. However, we did bring in five new signings, totaling the cost of £65 million. And the first player is going to be this lad here from NEC for £9 million, I believe. Let me just have a double check. That is going to be £9 million. He is going to be Jan Zdemir. I believe that's how you say that. And this guy's going to give us another option at centre-back and also can play in midfield. I'm more going to lean towards the centre-back option, in my opinion. Fantastic potential. He's capped at under-19s for the Netherlands, which is absolutely incredible, and I'm hoping that he can get a little bit of time to develop in the 2 years that we have left. Next up is going to be Korokolov, and he cost us £3.9 million, and again, he is going to be a centre-back, and that is because this guy looks like an absolute animal. Got tons of potential, and I wanted one signing which is purely a centre-back. Obviously, the one which I just show you can also play in midfield, so he might get trained in that position. Obviously, we do simulate the stuff over here, so I'm hoping this guy can, well, he is literally only a centre-back, so hopefully he can lock into that area and start to develop. Previously of Shakhtar. £3.6 million is what Bracchini cost us, and this guy is looking like a fantastic centre-back again, but don't worry, we are not just signing centre-backs, as this guy actually is also very comfortable at playing right-back, so this is a very versatile backline signing, and if he is going to play centre-back, it's quite a good balance, because if you've noticed the centre-backs we've been signing are all quite slow. This guy's the opposite. He's absolutely rapid, 16 acceleration, good aggression, good bravery, decent tackling. For me, he suits the right back position better, so I'm hoping that is where he can play. But for that amount of money, you can't complain. Up next is going to be Signorini, and this guy cost us £9 million, previously of River Plate. And this guy, I mean, he has got potential, 4-star potential, but look at some of his attributes already, man. I mean, 11 finishing, 17 acceleration, 16 pace. He is absolutely thriving. Yes, he can work on his dribbling. He can work on a lot of things. He's got a great first touch, to be fair. But 18 years of age, capped at the under-23 level of Argentinian football already. This is a fantastic signing, and you've got to pay attention to this, because we have got a lot of wingers that obviously we've got to be selling Darabi and things like that, so we need players that can cover the wing areas, and this is a fantastic addition. And lastly, the £40 million man, do not judge his eyebrows. This guy is absolutely incredible. That is going to be João Veloso dos Santos. What a name that is, as he actually offers a 4-star potential ability, and he's already pre-made to look like an incredible midfield player at the age of 18, and I am incredibly excited to see how he performs in this team, and I'm going to make sure he gets locked in, because with eyebrows like that, he can put in a challenge. I've now decided to actually lock in some players, and that is going to be this selection here. So it is obviously going to be the new man at centre-back. We've got Hato. We're going to have Dos Santos in the midfield, obviously. Taylor, who, by the way, is such a blessing. He is Ajax youth, because he is an absolute baller. Univar in the central area. We've got Mazambo out on the left. Broby. Obviously, we did sign that left-hand-sided winger, but what I am tempted to do is, actually, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove him from this area, just so it sort of balances between the new signing and him, and that is what I'm going to lock in, and hopefully we can have a very impressive 4th season. So let's go over and do it. So guys, the 4th season has been simulated, and we have won the Dutch League. We are back to winning ways. 1 point separates us and Feyenoord, and funny enough, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it come down to the last game, which Feyenoord drew 0-0. So a very good recovery season. Brian Broby coming in with 41 goals, Darami with 27. Darami also picking up the highest match rating, which is literally perfect, because we are now going to do our best to sell him, and he's going to be at an all-time high when it comes to monetary value. Brian Broby with a 7.68, Univar with 7.58, assists, all 3 people getting in there. I mean, this Ajax team is really showing what the youth can do, and it is really beautiful to see. Jay Gorta 2nd place for clean sheets, player of matches, Darami, and also Broby pick up, and it is a really good way, guys, because although Darami is obviously going to be leaving us at some point, he is now valued at £86 million. I am confident and this is gonna sound mental, I am confident I can turn Darami into £100 million transfer fee. I am that confident. In terms of the Champions League, guys, there's going to be another round of 16 exit as we do play Liverpool. A very close 2-1 game, though, obviously, after both fixtures. And I feel like it's a mixture of not doing well enough and also we're just getting a little bit done of who we're playing. We're playing some really top teams. Obviously, it's a very difficult job. Hopefully, in this last season, we can obviously make something happen. As for the Becker, it's a mixture. It's not even a mixture. We are simply not performing well enough as we actually lose on penalties to this side here. And this is a tournament which, don't get me wrong, I'm not that buzzing to win it. It's nothing too big, but we at least should be getting to the finals, if not winning it every single season, just naturally. In terms of the goals, though, guys, I'm going to be real with you. This is absolutely incredible. It is going to be Brian Broby coming in with 47 and 9 assists, but also Uram coming in with 42 and 7 goals. Obviously, putting in some incredible stat lines here. This is a player, by the way, who has currently only got 2-star when it comes to his ability, but he is performing at a much higher level. So shout out to him indeed. Darami having an incredible season. I mean, 33 goals and 20 assists. This guy should have every top team coming for him in this transfer window. Obviously, Univar, a player who, I'm going to be honest, guys, he might be my favourite player in this team. He is absolutely incredible. I love watching the guy. Honestly, what a talent, and I'm hoping this guy can develop like this in real life, because it would be really nice to see sort of a Turkish talent come through and really thrive at a high level. What a player. But overall, guys, I think it's quite safe to say that everyone's pulling their weight. I mean, Mazambo, we've got 19 goals, 16 assists. We've got Christiansen with 5 and 8. We've got Rico with 14 and 16. We've got Martha with 12 and 10. I feel like everyone is really pulling their weight. In fact, this guy here is going to be Tijin Peters with 16 assists. We haven't even spoke about this guy. Obviously, getting some game time. That is obviously going to be in a different division, though, to be fair. But I'm keeping a sort of track on absolutely every competition. I'm keeping a track on the entire Ajax youth as a whole. So if you're wondering why we'll open up different profiles, I'm just trying to see how we develop everyone. Going into the last transfer window, we have actually got £306 million, which does sound incredible, don't get me wrong, but realistically, I don't know how many more players we're going to try and bring in. Obviously, we're going to try and sell a couple of players, one being the superstar, which we've been talking about, who I'm really going to try and push for £100 million transfer fee. So, it is going to be Darami who gets his move to PSG. And let's have a little game. Can you guess in the comments right now how much money we got for this guy? I'm going to give you 3 seconds to comment. 3, 2, 1... £98 million. We signed the guy for 11.2 million under this fantastic management. We have made him a £98 million player. In fact, he is more than that. It's 102 million after everything is paid. So he is actually sold here, you can see, for 102 million pounds. What a bit of business. And we spent that money quite wisely to bring in five new additions to this team. The first player is going to be a freebie. That is going to be Sadiq coming in as a great backup striker option. 15 finishing, great acceleration, great pace. Now, I know we've got 2 very good striker options at the moment, but for a player who's on the free, he is literally on £85 a week. You could not say no. Up next is going to be Alunga, and this guy cost me £15.7 million. He is an absolute animal at centre-back. I mean, look at him. 17 tackling, 16 work rate, 18 aggression, 15 acceleration, 13 pace, 16 balance. This guy is the real deal at centre-half. Absolutely going to get in the team. A bit of American talent. We love to see it. Up next is going to be Herrera, costing me £8 million. And again, we have got a thing for signing centre-backs right now, but I've gone down a path of really strengthening that area for this last season, because in the Champions League fixtures, especially, that's where we're looking quite vulnerable. Our backline isn't the best it can be, but this guy, alongside of the previous guy, is going to be incredible. 2 quick centre-backs, both great tacklers as well, 18 years of age. I mean, you can't complain. £1 million later, and we bring in Michael Boylanson. I believe is how you say that. Obviously, a very versatile midfield player. Looks a little bit like Hamsik in his actual profile picture. But realistically, this guy can do it all. I mean, look at him. 19 years of age. He has got a lot of stats in the green. He can play practically everywhere in that midfield. And he is going to be an absolute treat to have in this midfield, given very good backup to the likes of Taylor. Obviously, he can compete with Santos as well. And this is an absolute bargain. bargain for that type of money. Also, only on £21,000 a week. And lastly, the last signing is going to be Lasamba, costing us £24 million from Antwerp over in Belgium. This 18-year-old fullback really does pack a punch. 18 acceleration, 14 pace, 16 stamina, good agility, good work rate, good leadership, decent tackling as well, got tons of potential to grow on top of this. An absolute no-brainer, and 100% will get into this fantastic Ajax youth team. Now, going into this last season, I don't want to restrict anybody in terms of impressing me, realistically. These are only going to be the players we're going to lock in. That is going to be Gorter, Lasamba, Univar, and Broby. I feel like every other position, we have got so much talent, I don't want to force people out of growing in this team. So these are going to be the players we're going to lock in. You could even argue I shouldn't be locking in these two, but we are going to see what happens in this 5th season. I am just praying we can carry on winning the Dutch League title. Let's get into it and see how we do. Well, guys, I can confirm we had quite a good season. We managed to win the Dutch League with 85 points, which is absolutely incredible. PSV Eindhoven having a very dodgy season in 11th. They have really fallen off, selling a lot of their good players. Feyenoord coming in 2nd place. In terms of the player stats, it's got to be the main man, Brian Broby, with 26 goals. Univar coming in with 23. Also, the highest match rating. It's nice to see this lad on here. Mazambo really deserves this as a player. What an absolute baller. Love to see that. Assists with rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 1 for clean sheets. We're dominating everything. We also won the Champions League, you know, the casual stuff, in a 2-1 win in extra time. It's going to be Univar kicking things off with a very scrappy goal there. A great bit of play from him down the left-hand side. Barcelona obviously equalised in the 52nd minute. It would have been a penalty anyway, but a very good bit of press from Pedro there. Dodgy from Voss. But luckily for us, we do win the game in the 109th minute, 110th really. Univar picks up the ball, drives alone, pushes it into the bottom right corner. And in terms of the stats, it was a game which was very back and forth. Obviously, they had an incredible team out, just as we did. But I would say we actually deserved this. We also do win the Becker final, which again is a very impressive thing because we have been quite ropey in this. A great goal there coming in. What a touch, pause, engage moment that was. It doesn't look like they equalise here, though, inside of the 61st minute. I can't talk. A great finish there, to be fair, from Big Chuck. Obviously, we do come back and nab a winner roughly around the 79th minute. Kenneth Taylor threw a great ball into Rasmussen, and keeper probably could have done better, but we ain't going to complain. And also on top of this, a 3-0 win in the pre-season Cruyff Shield, and it is going to be against Feyenoord, which makes it even sweeter, more sweeter than that assist, which was beautiful, by the way. And this is always a great way to start a game, or season, not a game, when you're beating team like Feyenoord, scoring goals like that, you know you're in for a good season. 2 goals of the highest quality. One more here from Brian Broby. What a finish. What a comfortable game. One thing I found quite funny, not that we would spend it, but if you guys wanted to play this, for example, you would have a transfer budget of over £500 million. 557 million. In terms of the stats, though, guys, we've got a more focus on what we've left them with now, but we have really left this team with some absolute balls. We got Uram actually rank 1 in the goals this season. Broby with 40, Univar with 36. We've got 25 for Mazambo. We've got Rico with 13 for Christiansen. Assists, we've got 30 for Univar. Mazambo with 23. David coming in with 18. This team is really linking up well right now, and this guy has got to be the biggest surprise package ever. Now, I know we have been looking at his performance in the 2nd division, and that is completely fine because I want to try and keep track of everything. And I was going to sell this guy, I did say that, but he's had years now in this 2nd division, obviously with this team, the Ajax B team, and I do really feel like he is ready to transition into this first team. And it's been really interesting merging the B team with the first team. Obviously, this whole video was about combining youth to the first team, so that's why we've done it. So do let me know if you like the concept of this, because I really want to do another youth rebuild, but I'm only going to do it if you guys want it. So if this video gets 40 likes, I will definitely do that. This is the best team now, according to the game. So it is going to be Gorter, Wrench, Voss, Hato, Lasamba, obviously the new man in midfield, Taylor, Mazambo, Univar, I would instantly switch them to around, Broby, and obviously this guy we didn't even really discuss, but having quite a good season, to be fair to the lad as well. It is literally endless talent in this Ajax team. And on the bench you can see a lot of the players we have brought in. Now, this doesn't mean they haven't developed well, they simply probably didn't have enough time to show. If this was a 10-year rebuild, a lot of these players, man, would be 5-star, because we are absolutely absolutely dominated it. And I think this has been an incredible rebuild, an absolutely sensational rebuild. We've won a lot of stuff. We've transformed the team, obviously in a very unique way. I mean, some of the players we've got rid of are world-class players, but we've replaced them by bringing up our own young players, and that is all that this video was about. So if you guys have enjoyed today's video, please show some support by smashing a fat like on that video. Drop the subscription button as well, hit the little notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.